about her husband. And Bonnie Bergen, of course, our founder and executive director, is here with her too. Oh, and
gosh. Do you want a novel or the condensed version? Well, the first day was really, I said at the welcoming dinner that it was pure heaven. And I really meant it, and it was really hard. And now looking back on it, I think that the reason they make the last week and a half so much fun is so that we'll forget the first 3 days and we'll tell other people to come up and but, it's amazing how awful you can feel for the first 3 days, and then to start getting along with your dog and, start getting along with the other people in the class and learn to, listen but not listen too much to the yelling and screaming. It gets easier, and it has been really an incredible experience. I think that probably all of us who have gone through it agree that we've been changed. Mike is lucky he's been through it before, so he tipped us off occasionally, Don't worry about the solos that we spied on. No, but it's been really fun, and I think that, Lisa and Mary and Brad and Clark really do an exceptional job. I know they absolutely love to get up there and scream and all that down. Well, Howard was on it, but...
Boot camp was hard at times, a lot of pleasure at others, and I think I'm still tired from getting up early and going to bed late and working real hard. The group of people we had was great, and the instructors were all great. I had a good time, but won't want to repeat it again. And that's it for me.
I think the main experience was the wonderful people in the wheelchairs. They're just so courageous and so brave. I don't know. I feel really sad about tonight. I feel like I made a lot of friends, and I'm going to miss everyone. And the instructors, I'm just in love with all of you. You're just great people. So this has been quite an experience. Thank you.
I don't know how to survive without the interpreter. Because the interpreter hears all of the yelling, and I didn't have to listen to all the yelling.
Okay, how about Lorena? Say a few words, please. Lorena Hernandez.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you. And I want to thank all the trainers for being patient, too. Thank you.
Twice, the first time, he was about to do same way. The first day I hated it, but the second time I would go around, I really had fun. You could even we were getting yelled at. I know it was for our own good, but still I wouldn't want to go through it. More than once every 7 years.
The other days I liked it. Just one more couldn't understand why a group of trainers could verbally abuse such a group of nice, considerate, sensitive students as harshly as they did. But now when I see how well everyone controls their dog, I see it was well worth it. And I'm glad you did.
Thank you. I had fun the first few days. But after we really started to get along, and the students started to really get to know each other, and the trainers really became nice. It was amazing. And after that, I thought it was going to be really worth it. And then when I got Izzy, I wasn't sure again. I thought maybe these trainers really messed up again. And then now it's just all of the way. I'm not glad it's over, but I am. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that the trainers are so patient with us. And I just want to say thank you to all of you.
The first few days were really tough, really hard. I drove all the time. But now I see it was all meant to be. And I had a really good time.
One last person I'd like to briefly.
Hi to my dog. I'll sit down. I really enjoyed the experience tremendously. I learned so much.
And Brad. Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it going to start hard, you know? Is it going to pop out?
The only person who's there.
The letter ball. Clark, thank you. Clark has a real neat way of yelling at people. He says, "Excuse me, may I yell at you?" Mary is the only one I know that can be so mean and still smile. And look sincere about it.
It's like this boot camp is the worst.
Yeah.
So, you can do it the rest of the head up, correct?
Thank you, everybody. It's very kind. It's a hit.
Yeah. Subtle.
Are you finished, Judith? Say hi to Bruce. Look at me and say hi to Bruce. Hi. Tell Bruce how much you love Disneyland. No, you always talk to him. Okay, anyway. What's your doggy's name?
Let's
Oh, see, Pop. Oh, I can't tell him like an introduction. Hi, Bruce.
They pray with their dogs. Arms down. What?
You've been sitting your dog in control.
Sit.
What are you doing with our dog?
I don't see that dog under control. Jeff, get that dog down, down.
When you say it, mean it.
Down.
Please sit.
That's not a command. That dog is not acting right.
Sit.
I'm gonna have some words with the privilege.
Everybody listen up. You're not here to fool around. You're here to train with these dogs now. Get that dog under control. Sit down.
Tell that dog no.
No. On him.
Not quick enough. Come on.
Come on. Get your dog.
better take that dog away now.
Take those dogs away right now. No, they need to go out in the toilet.
You want the rest of the I've already seen his hand. Okay, I'll be here. Thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? My name is Linda Temple. I'm the Northwest Regional Director of Canine Companions for Independence, and I would like to introduce the class of August 1988. Give him a hand. We have several dignitaries with us tonight. We have Mr. and Mrs. Neil Isaacson of the National Board of Directors, I'll introduce them all. Mrs. Lois Bob Trowbridge, National Board member, wife of, I think she does a lot of the work too, Jeannie Schultz, President of the National Board, and Bonnie Bergen, the founder and executive director. Our musician tonight is Gary DeSantis, And the interpreter is Angie Witt Thompson. If anyone needs to position themselves so they can see her, they're welcome to change seats. I'd like to introduce again a very special lady. She is president of the board of directors, a delightful person, Ms. Jean Schultz.
Thank you, Linda. To you graduates, I extend my heartiest congratulations. And to the staff and the volunteers whose work has enabled us to arrive at this point, I extend my grateful thanks. As long as there are disabled people like you who are willing to risk something and to extend themselves to the extent required to participate in the while we must risk something to gain something, just as you have risked something to come and participate in this program, the risk is done in a thought-out manner, so we are not risking everything. We know that we have the potential gain is worth the risk we're taking. We could choose to stay small, to limit growth, but that seems cruel now that we know there are wonderful companions who can bring such life-enhancing gifts to people who truly need and deserve them. We don't want to use all our resources to stay the same. So tonight there's a similar graduation in San Diego, and in November there will be 3 graduations, just like this one, happening across the country the same evening. We're responding to an offer which will enable us to graduate dogs in the Northeast, in the New York area, in February or May. So soon there will be 4 graduations taking place all at the same time. 4 classes just like you who are moving on into new areas of life. All of this could not be done without the goodwill and support of all of those of you who are in the audience tonight, and the thousands.
Margene has a puppy of one of Zaire's litter. They're X's. They're going to be an X. So the puppy mother's busily making up X names, which gets really interesting. I'd now like to introduce Regional Puppy Coordinator Clark Pappas. He is quite a character, a lot of fun, very Greek.
Hi. Okay, first of all, I'd just like to convey just how important and essential puppy raisers are to this organization, Canine Companions. A puppy, in order to mature and develop properly, needs a secure, stable environment with a great variety of sights, sounds, smells, and of course, plenty of love and interaction. A puppy destined to become a canine companion needs all that, only more so. The puppy raiser provides that rich, loving environment, that great variety of experiences which prepare the puppy not only for extensive training, but for a future life, working closely alongside an individual with a disability. And personally I've been impressed just by the level of commitment and energy that does go into raising these puppies. Okay, Bonnie, Norm, and Amy Anderson of Occidental raised Eden, a female golden retriever. Oh, that's right, they're from Post Falls. They're from Post Falls, Idaho. I don't think they came all this way. Okay, Amy McClellan is from Occidental. She raised Elevate, a male golden retriever.
Really an enthusiastic class. They enjoy giving the instructors a hard time. We really enjoyed teaching them. It was a privilege meeting you all. Right now, I would like to ask you to please hold your applause until the dog is teamed up with the student. She's from Oakland, California. She's a quadriplegic as a result of spinal cord injury. Her hobbies are martial arts, horses, and sculpture and the arts. It was funny, I heard her talking the other day about how when she goes home, she'll get to say to people, "A miracle happened to me at boot camp." The Miracle is a service dog. Miracle is a female golden retriever. She's energetic, and she was a joy to be around because she was a quick learner. Presenting Miracle is her puppy raiser, Jack Fields. Cheryl Fields is also in the back. Thank you. Result of spinal cord injury. His habits, his hat. You can tell I've been reading Lord of the Rings again, huh? His hobbies are music, politics, history, and giving the instructors a hard time. He has a wonderful sense of humor, but most of his jokes just flew right over our heads. Bruce is determined, and that really shined through during boot camp. Bruce will be receiving a service dog guide. Guide is a male golden retriever who's full of energy and, just as Bruce, is a class clown. Presenting Guide is his puppy raiser, Jeannie McCollum. Next, I'd like to introduce Debbie McCann. She's from Vancouver, British Columbia. She's a quadriplegic. Her hobbies are music, singing, swimming, and riding. I'm sure she's going to start a novel right after she leaves here, everything you wanted to know about boot camp, but we're afraid to ask. Debbie is strong-willed. Tori was another one who liked to tease the instructors. One thing about Tori, though, she's exceptionally determined, and I must say she picked up the dog handling skills right away. She was really one of our top people in the class to really have a good feeling for what to do and what not to do with the dogs. It's kind of a natural ability. Tori will be receiving a service dog, Isabel. Isabel is a female golden retriever. And when she first came into training, we had a nickname for her as Dizzy Izzy. Except Mike Dalton is from Windsor, California, and his disability is spina bifida. His hobbies are collecting hats, doing model cars, and boot camp. Mike's here receiving a replacement dog tonight. And I must say, Mike has grown a lot. When we first saw him, his dog handling ability wasn't as well as it is today.
Ian's from Peachland, British Columbia, has spinal muscular atrophy, and Ian, at the age of 5, rivals any of the youngest graduates that we've ever had in the class. We've never graduated anybody younger than Ian. Ian really came into this class and just really did surprisingly well. A lot of children that come into class with a lot of coaching and a lot of support, etc., etc. Ian just, after the first few days, he fell in love with his dog, and he could have led the class as well as anybody else. He's accompanied in this class by Tom and Sheila, his parents, and they were going through it too to help back him up. But Ian really showed just exceptional ability to work his dog. And his service dog is a black Labrador female Quetzal. Now, you've heard the saying, it's not the size of the pie of the dog, it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the pie of the dog. I'm messing that one up. But anyhow, Quetzal, although she's very small, is just an incredible worker. She has a love and a calmness that has just made her a very, very special dog. And because of that, her and Ian have just made a terrific team. Presenting Quetzal tonight are her puppy raisers, Lindy Johnson and Susan Fosselman. want to be in smiles to just make your whole day. Congratulations, Ian. The next graduate I'd like to introduce is Lorena Hernandez from Sunnyvale, California. She has degenerative arthritis. Lorena, I think, really had to work in this class. Everybody had to work, but I think Lorena really worked exceptionally hard, and she did amazing work with her dog. They bonded very.
Well, gee, I guess I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous, so I won't say it. Luckily, when I got nominated by the class to speak tonight, I made them agree to help write this speech. So the parts that make sense are mine, and the rest is Bruce's. There's really no way to describe what happens in this boot camp. I called my brother and my sister-in-law for support. They've both been through boot camp in the Navy. It's real similar. Miracle, sit. Thank you. At the welcoming dinner on the first day, we were asked what we thought about the first day of boot camp, and I said it was pure hell. I was the first person that they picked on. Lisa has a way of doing that with me. And everyone else lied and said they had fun. Thankfully, those of us that hung in there were a few more of us that started than finished. And for those of us who hung in there, it did get easier. And a lot of that was because we got to know each other. We learned how to support each other. We got used to Mary's yelling and Lisa's tirades. Clark and Brad, the other two trainers, are a little bit more subtle. Clark always says, "Excuse me," before he yells at us. Brad was pretty soft, but he always carried around a grapefruit juice bottle that I was sure was going to go flying through the air at any moment. The first day of boot camp, we were told that we were going to get yelled at, we were going to get screamed at, all of our values were going to get broken down. They wanted to make sure that we had changed our attitudes about what a dog was, how a dog was to behave, what its purpose was. I came up here for vacation. I didn't get it, I think that one thing that's really important to remember, that as hard as boot camp is on the participants, it's really hard on the people that are with them as support people. Miracle, sit. Miracle, sit. Stay. We go through a lot of changes as we become more independent, and all of our energy goes into focusing on the dogs. Our friends and our family and our attendants are kind of left in the lurch, They are not allowed to speak to the dog, they're not allowed to have contact with the dog, they're not allowed to interact with it. And that's really hard. As all of you are probably just dying to get your hands on one of these animals. And, these people that are with us to support us. They have to be with us all the time, and they're not a part of it. And I think that we'd all like to thank all of them, and I'd like to acknowledge a few of them. Leslie came up with me. Katrine was here with Bruce. Terry was here with Debbie, and Toria's mom, Vicki, was here. And they all got together, and we had a great time, and they were really part of the family, too. I think that the really incredible thing about boot camp is that the success of boot camp really depends on the people who are participating coming together and making a team. And most of us here come from very different backgrounds. We have different social circles, different lifestyles, and about the only thing that we had in common was that we were people with disabilities. And I'm really amazed at how well we came together and what a great team we made. That's kind of what pulled us through boot camp. I wrote a speech.
Bruce and his service dog guide. Legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorena and her service dog Matisse. Ladies and gentlemen, Debbie and her service dog Giannini. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian and his service dog Quetzal. Ladies and gentlemen, Judith and her service dog Miracle.
Valley is a more scenic route. As you drive through the county, you might notice that everyone seems busy. It may be the dog days of summer everywhere else, but up here, the vineyards are getting ready for the crush, and that's the busiest time of the year. As for the dog days, well, that's what July and August are called because this is the time of year when the dog star, Sirius, rises with the sun. And if you take Sebastopol Road in Santa Rosa, you'll come to a place where it's a dog's day every day of the year. Guide dogs have been eyes for the blind for many years, but recently they've become arms and legs for the disabled, too. You can see these special dogs at just one place around here, Canine Companions for Independence in Santa Rosa. It's not a glamorous place. In fact, it looks a lot like a kennel. But the reason to visit is not for scenery. It's to see the great work done here, people raising canines. Cashmere, Quetzal, Miracle, Guide, there they are, the 4 dogs. Okay, they're not here to perform. This is Linda Temple, and those dogs are actually being very nice today, aren't they?
They are. They usually are.
We ought to explain where we are. This is a very unusual place called Canine Companions, and you do some very unusual work here. Now, these dogs are not just locked up. They're here for a purpose.
They're in training. They will be trained for 6 months and placed with someone who has a disability to help them pick up things, turn on light switches, pull their wheelchair. They get tired. Numerous things. They learn 89 commands.
This is a very unusual place. There aren't a lot of these around the country, certainly.
This was the very first center of its kind. Service dogs were invented, so to speak, by Bonnie Bergen about 13 years ago when she'd been teaching in Turkey and noticed that disabled people were helped by animals. And so she came back to this country, and there'd been guide dogs for 40 years, but no one had thought to use an animal to help somebody with the other kinds of disabilities. And so the program slowly developed from 1975 to now.
Each dog spends the first 18 months of its life with a puppy raiser who teaches 40 basic commands. Then the dog is enrolled in a 6-month course where it learns to be a canine companion. By the time a dog graduates, it can pick up objects, pull a wheelchair, open the refrigerator, even be an elevator doorman. Now, you say dogs push the buttons for elevators, for people who can't reach the buttons. What happens if they get, can they read all those numbers?
No. If there are 52 buttons, they have to push all 52. We're working on them learning symbols, but so far they don't. So the poor folk that's in a wheelchair will just have to wait until they get to the floor they want.
Want to try it again, huh? Good. Teeth, switch. Teeth, up. Up. No, up. Come on, teeth. Up, switch. Switch.
switch teeth. Good.
What are some of the other things the dogs will do?
Well, let's see. They do many things. Turning on the light switch is really handy if the mobility of the arms is limited. And even better is even if the person does have the use of their arms, but say they're paraplegic in a wheelchair, they get all tucked into bed, which is a real effort, and all covered up, and then realize they didn't turn the light off. They can send the dog over, and the dog will turn it off with his paws. So it's a lot of things. Mostly picking things up, I think, happens to people in wheelchairs. Oh my gosh, I dropped my pencil for the 100th time today. I don't have to ask you to do it. I can ask my dog to do it. And I think it makes a person feel a lot better when they know they don't have to constantly depend on another human being.
Yeah. What do you hope to accomplish by having tours here?
Well, we want people to know about the program. We want people who are interested in having a dog that they might find helpful. And I think there's a lot of interest in America, particularly in the animal-human bond. I think it's a wonderful, positive program to share with people. So we enjoy having people here and enjoy showing them what we do. We're proud of it. We can talk about it all day.
Visitors are always welcome, and the center is looking for loving homes for its pups, too. If you want a tour or would like to be a canine raiser, just call. To get to Canine Companions for Independence, take Route 101 north to Highway 12 in Santa Rosa. Go east, turn left on Stony Point Road, and then another left will get you to Sebastopol Road. You'll find it at 1215 Sebastopol Road.
Hi, I'm Joanne Isuzu, Joe's twin sister, and I love these Isuzu Trooper 2s. They're roomy enough for all your wild Indians. Perfect for grocery shopping. And with their optional automatic transmission and more powerful engine, you can drive anywhere. The Isuzu Trooper 2, rugged yet so chic.
The four-wheel drive Isuzu Trooper 2, the lowest priced four-door in its class.